with digital products. When I mention digital products, what comes to your mind? Well, in this talk, I want to focus specifically talking about websites and mobile apps. Think about the last time you used one. Maybe you read an article, or booked a ride to get here, or texted your family that you're competing today in this excellent competition. The whole experience felt effortless, right? I mean, you didn't even have to think about what to tap next because it just made sense. That's user experience design, or UX design, making digital products easy and intuitive to use so they feel effortless. But what happens when someone cannot see the buttons, or hear the sound, or even move their fingers to tap? For many people with disability, that's their reality, facing digital products that aren't as effortless to use as they are for the rest of us. Poet Audre Lorde once reminded us that marginalized communities were never meant to survive. And so, it is better to speak than to stay silent. Today, I want to speak about the silence of stigma against people with disability in the tech world through my speech. Inclusion in user experience design for digital products. Ladies and gentlemen, in the context of UX design, inclusion means making digital products that everyone can use, including people with disability. There are two approaches in technology that support inclusion. First, inclusive design. It would ensure that the text is easy to read, the colors have enough contrast, and the buttons are easy to tap. On the other hand, there's equity-focused design that goes further by incorporating features such as voice navigation, gesture controls, or simplified layout. It's ensuring that everyone can truly utilize it. Unfortunately, many digital products are still built without these approaches. In fact, State of Mobile App Accessibility reports that 48 out of 50 most popular apps still fail at least basic accessibility. The lack of accessibility, of course, limits people with disability to learn, work, and connect in today's digital world. That's why today, I want to speak about the silence. Because behind this exclusion lies deep stigma. Some common beliefs include people with disability are a minority. It's their problem, not ours. It's rare to get complaints, so it must be fine. But I'll say, no, it is not fine. This combination of stigma and ignorance creates a vicious cycle that blocks accessibility from even being considered. That's why, here, I am to prove those stigmas are wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, inaccessible design isn't just a moral failure, it's a bad business. Because research from AbilityNet shows that 70% of disabled shoppers will abandon a website they cannot use, costing UK retailers an estimated of £17.1 billion in lost sales. Meanwhile, in the US, adults with disabilities spend around $490 billion annually. According to Nielsen, money gets largely locked out due to poor design. And this became clearer to me when I once attended a Google Developer Group seminar, and I attended a group called Suarez, which showcased accessibility tools for people with disability. There, they challenged me to order food using the talkback feature on my phone, a feature that read aloud everything on the screen to help visually impaired users navigate. Although the talkback feature helped, many apps were still not fully accessible because some lack alternative text or button types, making navigation difficult. That experience made me realize how essential accessibility is in user experience design. Suarez empowers people with disability and connect them to designers and developers through initiatives like Tantangan Aksesibilitas or Accessibility Challenge to raise public awareness about accessibility gaps. However, despite their impact, the gap remains wide because according to WebAid, 96% of home pages still fail at least one accessibility standard. This means for every community like Suarez pushing for change, there are countless companies still leaving people behind. That's why we need more initiatives like this. Communities that remind us inclusion in tech, it's not about use, it's a responsibility. And that responsibility can start small actually, because I want to leave you with something that you can do today. Try adding alternative text on your next Instagram post. Alternative text is a short description to help visually impaired users understand your post is. You can find the option on the last page before you post it. Give it a try because it would be an access for someone else. Every individual's actions matters, but tech practitioners carry a greater responsibility. That's why change begins with all of us. Because if we do nothing, we are complicit in their marginalization. Instead, let us heed Lord's call. It is better to speak and design inclusively, remembering that marginalized communities were never meant to be ignored. Thank you for your attention. I'm Najah. Wassalamualaikum.